Good morning, seventh graders. So since I'm not at school today, I wanted to do a quick video here to go through what it is that I wanted you to accomplish while you were at school. Before I even begin, though, two things. One, you had homework last night if you weren't at school on Tuesday. So that homework is due. And when the video is done, if you can take the homework, make sure your name is on it, go up and give it to the substitute teacher to collect, please. The second thing is that I wanted to give a quick shout out that I promised I would do to my nieces, Ava and Sophia. So the first thing is the lab that we've been working on, the new moon phases with the moon pops lab. We're not going to worry about that today. Okay, I hopefully will be back tomorrow, and we'll worry about it then. So everyone's gonna start a new activity today. That's a lunar calendar activity. So the substitute teacher will give you a sheet that has the month of March on it. On Google Classroom, along with this video link, there were two other links. You're going to use those two links to help you to complete the sheet. All right, so I'm going to go over to the sheet now, and I want to explain very carefully what it is that you're going to do on this sheet. You probably will not finish today. I'm allowing you, if you want to work with one person, it can be student choice, and you can pick with one person to work with, but not groups of three. And if you'd rather just work by yourself, you can work by yourself for this too. Okay, so you get a sheet that looks pretty close to this. It has March 28, 18 on it. It has all the months, and it has circles for the moon. So the one side that you're going to use is going to go through, and it's going to tell you how much of the moon is illuminated then. And it's going to go through it, and it'll label for you the major phases that are on there, and it'll tell you each day about the percentage that's illuminated. And you're to fill that in by shading in the shadow, like we always do. Remember to shade in the shadow on every single day. So that's step one, is to shade in the shadows and to show the phases for the entire month so that we can see the entire lunar cycle in this 30-day period. Second thing, then, is to use the other website. And what that other website does is that it gives you the sunrise and the sunset. And I guess I just said that wrong. It's not the sunrise and sunset. It's the moonrise and the moonset for every day. Now, a couple things that you're might be confused with when you look at that site. So first of all, March 1st, when you look at it on March 1st, it might show that it is setting first and then rising second. And you might say, well, wait, how's it going to set first and then rise second? And that's because you can't forget about the last day of February. So the last day of February, it rose in the night sky before midnight. So it was still Wednesday, February 28th when it rose, and then it set at sometime Thursday in the morning. Okay, and then it was down all through the day. And then sometime in the evening, it rose back up Thursday night. And then Friday morning, it sets. And then Friday evening, it rises, and so on. And so you'll continue and to see that pattern until midnight. Until you'll see that it doesn't rise before midnight. So the one thing you have to remember with this is that the new day starts at 12 a.m. And so for us, we always say, oh, well, 12 a.m., that's the middle of the night. That's still the nighttime. Well, yeah, it's nighttime, but technically it's morning of the next day. So don't get confused with that, because that's what a lot of kids usually what will happen is that they'll get confused with what day it's supposed to be on, because they'll forget that 12:10 a.m. is actually the next day in the morning, even though to us it's still nighttime because we're sleeping. Okay, so what do you do with those times? Well, I know there's not a ton of room, but in the top right corner, so the opposite top corner of where the number is written of the day of the month, in the top right corner, I would like you to write when the moon rises on that day. In the bottom right corner, I would like you to write when the moon sets. And it's very important for you to put AM or PM next to those. Very important for you to put AM or PM next to those. Now you might say, or you might find out that there's a day where the moon rises that day, but it doesn't set that day. That's okay. That might happen because, again, If it happens after midnight, then technically it's on the next day. And vice versa. You might have a day where sets it sets and then rises, but then maybe it doesn't set again until the next day. And that's fine too. Okay, so just kind of go through it and just remember that important part that midnight or 1 a.m. is technically the next day, and it should all work out. So you're putting the date of when it rises in the top right corner, the time of when it sets in the bottom right corner of each of those boxes for every day. And again, make sure you put AM or PM. All right, guys, so that's the end of the directions. So it should be pretty clear. And it does. It just takes a little bit of time because you got to do a lot of shading and you got to use the other website to get all those dates in and write those dates in. Do your best. I know it's not a lot of room to write the times in, but please just be as neat as you can so that it's easy for me to read. Make sure you put AM, PMs in there. Use other people in class to help you if you get stuck. This will not be homework tonight. There is no other homework tonight except do not forget you have Study Island due by the end of the day tomorrow. Okay? And then I should hopefully be back tomorrow. All right, guys, have a good day. Make sure you're staying on task, getting your work done, behaving. I definitely don't want to see anybody's name on a list when I come back that you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. It's clear what you're supposed to be working on. My expectation, even though I'm not there, is for you to work on it. So make sure you're doing that. All right, have a good day, and I'll see you Friday.